Happy Monday. Today is January 19th, 2025. It's about 4 in the afternoon. I wanted to sit on this bench and film this and have good lighting, and the reality is I'm just kind of being blinded here by the sun. I didn't want to wear my sunglasses because I wanted you to be able to see my eyes and see me emote and have it be more personal in that way. I don't even know what I'm. I turned the camera on and immediately started second guessing myself and all my choices. But hey, it's another week, and I am feeling a lot better than I did last week. I was kind of freaking out, wondering if I should even be trying to get a vlog off the ground, and kind of just, yeah, going through what felt like a bit of an existential crisis, which is often how it can feel when I'm trying to start something new, especially something that I've attempted to do more than once in the past and have just simply given up on. And, me wrestling with the idea that, all right, well, I've tried this several times before. It doesn't really even seem fair to say that I failed, because there was no barometer for success necessarily, or some outside force weighing in on this. It was more of me just giving up, right? I guess you could consider that a failure. It essentially is. It's just that, I don't know, I feel like failure implies that I didn't achieve some sort of outside validation beyond just myself and what I want and what I'm trying to do. It really is just that I gave up. And, I think some of what I spoke about last week has some truth to it. Just the idea that I think sometimes you do just have to try to encourage yourself to go through the motions, even if you're not quite feeling it. And that doesn't apply to everything. I don't think that's necessarily something that you can use for every single thing that you want to get yourself to do, right? I still think that you need to approach different goals you have with the right mindset, and feel as though you have good reasons for wanting to do what you're trying to do. But I think if you've ever found yourself trying to get something off the ground, trying to get something started, and you keep running into roadblocks or issues or things holding you back, or you keep losing confidence and giving up and starting again and all these things, but you still feel very strongly in your heart that you want to do these things and you believe that you should be doing them, not because of, things that other people have said or outside forces telling you to do these things, or, saying that you need to do these things, but something that truly comes from within, something that you feel very strongly that you want to do. I think there's something to be said about encouraging yourself to just go ahead and get it done, even if you're having a bad day, a bad week, even if it doesn't feel like the right time. Because especially when it comes to getting started, as so many people like to say, it's never going to feel like the right time. And even if it feels like an especially bad time, if you believe in it, if you think that this is the path forward, and you believe that there is something that you should be doing, and that is ultimately going to lead you to a better place, sometimes you really just gotta get in there and get it done. And once you have that sort of initial experience of having done it, it's just like anything else. It just gets easier, right? And not to say that every single new thing you ever try in life is only ever going to get easier after the first time, but that getting yourself to do it most of the time is only going to get easier, right? The actual task or any of the work involved is going to ebb and flow and have ups and downs and different difficulties that pop up, but the actual just act of starting, of getting yourself to begin the task is something that can get easier over time. And I really felt that this last week. There were, among other things, 2 really solid goals I had to start off 2025. I wanted to get back to my daily drawing, and I wanted to do vlogs. And so far, I have kept up with both of those things. I want to do 1 vlog a week every Monday, and I want to make something every day. It doesn't have to be a drawing. I call it the daily make, just because, one, I don't know, it has a nice ring to it, even though it sounds kind of weird, and I feel like out of context, people might not know what that is or what that means. But 2, it's kind of like not completely unique in that no one's ever thought of those combinations of words before, but it's weird enough and it's uncommon enough that people aren't using that name or that hashtag. And so I've claimed that. I came up with it myself, even if I'm not the first one. The daily make, it's literally just a promise to myself that I am going to make something every day. And that has so far manifested in drawings, because that is the bulk of my artistic background. It's the thing that I have the most experience and knowledge doing. It's the creative medium that I've spent the most time with, I think, over the course of my life. And it's been really great. I think I only now just realize why I've had that feeling inside me for so long of wanting to do that, is just the idea that when it comes to making stuff for yourself, or just doing anything, it doesn't even have to be making stuff, but encouraging yourself to do something, right? It's not for work, it's not for school, it's not for a member of your family or friend. It is for you, and the only one who is going to hold yourself accountable to doing it is you. It seems odd, but I think we all know that oftentimes those are the hardest things to do. When you were the only one trying to encourage yourself to do it, you're also free of any sort of outside consequences or, results of your actions, right? Like, whether you do it or not, especially starting out, no one's really going to care other than yourself, because you were the only one that was wanting you to do this in the first place. And so I think for me, the sort of element of trying to do a daily thing kind of gamifies it a bit, of like, all right, well, after I have a few days under my belt, now I've got a streak going. Now I can actually say I've been doing this every day. And now the more days that I do it, the more encouraged I am to keep it going and keep that alive and keep that streak going. And it is quickly becoming just a part of my life, something that I expect to do every day and enjoy doing most days. And I get it, the people that say, well, maybe it isn't healthy to do this every day. What happens when you reach a day when you're just not in the mood? You just really don't want to do it. Is it a good thing to force yourself to do it even on those days? And I think that's a question that everyone is going to have to answer for themselves, but I don't think it needs to be just like a totally unhealthy, toxic thing to encourage yourself to do some of these things, even when you're not as motivated. Because for me, the act of doing it day after day is the thing that keeps it going. And I think, only time will tell, but so far I've enjoyed it every time I've sat down to do it, and I'm beginning to plan my day around it. It's something that I look forward to. And it's just one of those things of like, I have so many ideas. I have so much creative energy. And I have such grand plans for what I eventually want to go on to do with that. I have these big dreams and these enormous projects that I would love the chance to eventually be able to create someday. But I don't know if I ever will be able to, right? Like, sometimes it's resources. Do I have the time or the money to get some of this stuff done? Sometimes it's just the luck of the draw of like, who knows how my life circumstances will change? Who knows if my dreams themselves will change? And who knows if I'll even be here at all next year, right? Like, none of the time that we have on this earth is guaranteed. And so for me, the daily make is an opportunity for me to create something and put it out in the world. And once I've done that, that can't be taken away from me, right? Like, I've done it and it's out there, and I feel fulfilled in a way that I perhaps never have in my life. I don't know. Certainly not for some time, and not on any sort of consistent basis, or it's just like, no matter what happens, no matter where my life leads me, I am actually using some of that creative energy that feels so often like it's pent up inside me wanting to get out, right? Like, I'm actually utilizing that and sharing something that I created with the world, even if it's nothing crazy, even if it's just something quick that I'm, again, getting done within just a day's time, usually in an hour or less. But I feel like I'm now adding to the world. I'm contributing in a way that's more fulfilling to me. Obviously I have a job and I work, and that is also using my self and my energy to contribute to society. But delivering people McDonald's is not fulfilling. You know what I mean? It pays the bills, and it barely pays the bills. It's rough out here. I gotta figure something else out. But the drawing, man, like, yesterday I drew Sonic, and it was someone else's drawing. I think it was an official piece of Sonic art. Doesn't really matter. It wasn't even like my own pose or anything. I just copied a drawing I found on Google. It wasn't a tracing. I don't know what the proper term is, if there is one. I call it a redraw, where it's essentially I'm just drawing the image again, but not tracing it. Very simple, very straightforward, very sort of like uninteresting in a lot of ways, but I loved it. I had a good time doing it. I was proud of it after it was done, even though some parts of it were off and his hand was too big and all this stuff. But because it was just meant to be this simple thing that I just put out into the world, and I do it quickly, and it's not meant to be taken too seriously, I just was able to post that and move on. And I've seen that throughout today as well, just like as I've gotten on social media and looked back at my drawing, and I'm like proud of it and happy to have made it, and am pleased that even just a couple people out there in the world enjoyed that, and it put a smile on their face or something, that matters to me. It makes me feel good about myself and who I am and what I made. And it gives me the confidence to keep doing more and to push even further and get to a place where I can create something more substantial that I spend hours on. But that even if I don't get the chance to do that, or even as I'm working on those projects and they take days, weeks, months, years to come to fruition, that the daily make allows me to still be just making something and putting it out into the world right away and not having to worry about when will this come out, will this come out, will I scrap it, all these different things. And you know, it also kind of helps me bypass that perfectionist tendency of like trying to nitpick every single thing before it's ready to be shown. It's like, oh well, it's got to be today. And so I can't stress too much about the finer details. But yeah, I'm feeling really good. I think it's still going to take some weeks to really feel like I'm like nailing this and really like killing it in 2025. But so far, I think this is the greatest, most exciting start to something like this that I've ever had. And I can't wait to see where it goes. I don't have a name for this vlog. I'm not even sure if it ever will have a name other than just vlog, and it'll be Simba Jones's vlog or whatever the hell. But you know, life is good, and right now I think I can confidently say that 2025 is the year of Simba Jones. Other people too, right? I hope 2025 is everybody's year, but I don't know everybody like that. I don't know what everyone's got going on. I don't know what everybody else is up to, but like, I am planning to absolutely kill it this year. Just wait and see. All right, I'll see you next week.